Hey, what's happening? It's your boy Big K.R.I.T, Third Coast representing. You already know what's going down with Star Power Entertainment. Shout it.
Yeah. Check it out. This is Star Power Entertainment, and I'm here with the King of the South, the proclaimed, self-proclaimed King of the South, Big K.R.I.T. How you doing?
Happening? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Can you describe to me the creative space you're in? K.R.I.T is an interesting album title that I had to like pronounce and work on.
Hey, that's cool. That's cool, man. That's cool.
So tell me the creative space you're in right now.
I mean, for me, it's about showing growth at the end of the day. Really showing creative, just a totally different creative process than what people are mostly used to me having. And then trying to take my music to the next level. And I think I was able to do that on this project. And at the same time, keep the story going, because I'm also telling you the story of where the Cadillac came from that crash landed on the Live from the Underground cover. And it's gonna be obvious once people hear the music, because I think I did something that they didn't expect from me, and sonically just kind of going in a way where it's so soulful, it's so gritty, but there's no samples, and you know, it's just only 3 the entire album. And I was able to do all that, but not only working with some amazing musicians, but trying to push the limits of what I can create as well. And I'm just excited for people to hear this Planet on wax that I created, how everything's a little obscure, things are a little different, but it all makes sense and it all ties into itself. You know?
Now, is there a song on the album that will cross you over into mainstream commercially?
I mean, well, I don't even look at it like that anymore. I think, believe it or not, I Got This Here was one of those records. Money on the Floor probably was one of those records too.
Sure.
Country Shit was definitely the first record people heard of me that actually made it on the radio. But it never was my concern to cross over. I think what I wanted people to understand that I can't be put in a box musically, and then I obviously can work in other genres as well. I think you'll notice that once you hear this album.
So why aren't you trying to cross over? Like, are you trying to preserve something with your music?
I just don't. I guess I don't look at it as a trying thing anymore.
I see.
It's like you deliberately try to make a hit to make a hit. I don't really do that when it comes to my music. I just try to make the best quality music that I possibly can. And if it finds a different fan base, or if it gets put on a bigger platform, then thank God. But other than that, we still moving and we still creating the kind of music that is quality over quantity, and it's still timeless because it doesn't remind you of anything, but this just feels good. And that's what it's all about, because when you get caught up in the wave of what's going on, your music becomes dated, and that's not what I'm interested in.
How important is it to have timeless music to you? I hear you say that a lot, like that word timeless. Why is it so important to have that type of music?
Because I think that's where the greats live musically. I think I always go back to this analogy that I'm sure that Marvin Gaye didn't make Mercy Mercy Me for me. You know, he made it for what was going on in that very moment, but it obviously the music outlives us. And so down the line, I heard it and I felt like it was right on time for me. It was something I needed to hear. Same with Sam Cooke, Change Gonna Come. It was a record that was made in a way where it would surpass the person and live on. And that's the kind of music I want to create, because I think that's when you find yourself in a position that you say something that's so important that always moves people and it always touches people, and that's what music is really supposed to be all about.
You know what's interesting to me? You just mentioned some influences. It sounds like Marvin Gaye and Sam Cooke, and they're old school, and they're like old school R&B, and you're a down south rapper. So how does that all come together and get portrayed in your music?
I mean, because it was soul. It was, at the end of the day, soul music is soul music, and it didn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter how old you are. It's still supposed to impact you in some kind of way. And these were the kind of songs that, being a young man listening and watching my parents react to these songs, or it'd be a record that come on the radio like Thriller's Gone or something, B.B. King, and every time it dropped, my grandmother would be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I may not have got it then, but it took me to get older, then it'd be like, I get it now. I understand, because it feels a certain kind of way, and it was so necessary at the end of the day, because music heals people at the same time.
Right. So what do you want your fans to take away from K.R.I.T that's different from any other album? Like, what are they going to take away from this? Because I heard you say before too that there's a song for everybody. On this album. Explain that to me. How?
I mean, because at the end of that, I've had the opportunity to not only meet a lot of people, but I've grown as an individual based off of travel, and just the journey itself has been a wild ride. And I get the opportunity to sit back and document everything that I've seen, all these experiences, and put them on wax. And it's important to me to make it in a way where now I'm not so hell bent on proving myself in a certain kind of way, but making the kind of music that it's created in a space where, depending on what kind of day you having, depending on what kind of person you are, there's a song on this album for you. And then I did it in a way where on Cat-A-Latica, I created life, and you see the transitions of this individual on this planet up until the end of their life.
You say this individual, is that you?
Yeah,
or,
okay. It's me.
Okay.
But it's my subconscious mind. In your mind, you can be and do whatever you want to do. And so I utilize that from that perspective. And like I said, there's things that are obscure. There's things that I took from history on Earth, but I twisted them to my advantage on Cat-A-Latica.
How much does your grandmother have a part to play in that?
Oh, 100%. I mean, because being literally sitting in her house and setting up an entire studio in her kitchen damn near, and she let me, you know, I'm talking about playing the music type loud, and she wasn't tripping, recording some of probably some of my dopest records in her bathroom, and she let me, you know what I'm saying, and wasn't tripping on the bills and whatever I did. And that was the beginning of having somebody believe in me so much that they just let me do it, go for it. That's what you want to do it. So.
What's the best advice she's given you as a man, and then the best advice she's given you as this growing artist?
Oh man, well, it's just always be kind to people. It was like that was one of those things where it don't matter who it is, a stranger, you never know how somebody may help you in the long run. So always be kind and do on the others as you would want them to do on you. It is very instilled.
Those are like classic.
Yeah, and respect people's space, respect people's mind. And if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say it at all. And these kind of things definitely helped me in the long run, because I ran into people that I treated them in a kind way in the beginning of my career, and they've gotten to a point where they're successful at what they do, and they show the same kind of love because they remember that I wasn't an asshole. I wasn't the typical shit on you rapper that people are portrayed as. I was just being myself.
The people appreciate that. I tell you that for real. One more question. I ask everyone that interview. You know Mount Rushmore, right?
Yeah, I know Mount Rushmore.
I need you to give me your hip hop Mount Rushmore.
My hip hop Mount Rushmore. Good Lord. Damn. All right, Outkast as a whole, 8Ball and MJG, UGK.
You know there's only 4.
I'm gonna keep going. No, you gotta understand. I named 3 groups, and they're groups. So you have to live in the group.
They can live in the group.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate that. You can put their emblems up if you feel that way.
All right, we can do that.
And then I'd have to say, Pac. So,
there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. This is Star Power Entertainment. We're rocking out with Big K.R.I.T. He's got shows tonight at Highline Ballroom. Check it out.
Yep.